would you define the music of Soundmind?
Musical stew, a gumbo of sorts.
Pretty wacky, progressive kind of edge to it.
Shit, I don't know how I want to answer that one. Fuck it.
He really hit magic.
I think you have to sort of take in epochs. There are different millennia in Soundmind.
100 billion degrees, I should be melting for sure.
The history of Soundmind actually started from Corporate Sweat, which spawned from Corpus Sweat, which was a little project that we did with Spencer, Jesse, David Auslander, and myself back in high school.
We all started picking up instruments in around 9th, 10th grade, and I picked up the keyboard, Richman picked up the bass, and Tyrone picked up the guitar.
We played a gig at Fairfax High School while we were at Corpus Sweat, and Sean Franks was there. We met him through a friend, Ron and Jackie. It started out and there was no vocals. We figured, hey, we got to get vocals. Somewhere along the line, there's got to be a voice that's being heard. We can't just be instrumental.
And then we had a very great friend of ours who has passed away, Phil Flinton, was on vocals.
How did Corporate Sweat evolve into Soundmind?
Well, we kind of had a falling out with Philip Linton. It just didn't really work. He sort of had more interest in acting, I would say, as opposed to music. So we decided to move on and have Sean be our singer. Ty played guitar, Jesse played keys, I played bass, and Monte played drums.
Well, I grew up with Rob and Jesse and Ty, and Sean was the only one that I really didn't know at the time. We went through a lot of different changes. The first one was with Sean, the singer. We were having some problems as far as how serious he was taking it.
And then we started auditioning singers, and eventually we found Jason Richman.
I had heard a tape of Soundmind and I was just blown away. I thought it was great. So I went to try out, and it was between me and another guy, and I guess I got it, and it was great.
We all agreed that it would be the right thing, and he was a brilliant lyricist and a great guy and a great singer. We figured, hey, this is it, you know, let's go.
Is it real? Don't wanna close my eyes. Don't wanna make that touch. Don't wanna give her any.
Tyrone left shortly after Jason joined the band. He left because he didn't like the singer after all.
I guess he thought I sounded a little bit too much like Elvis Costello, which I'm sure I did.
Who knows why Ty left? We're still figuring that one out.
Wanna give her any party.
Then had to look for another guitarist.
We auditioned several other guitar players, went through the whole hell of doing it at the shithole.
It was a horrific experience.
And eventually we found Chris Rowe.
And it worked out. He was great. He came in with his Beano chips and Mesa Boogie and a picture of Frank Zappa, and we figured this guy's it.
Well, we came on holiday originally.
To
LA, yeah, and then I wanted to get out of here, get out of England, that is, because there was absolutely no music scene going on at all where I was, so it was either go to London or come here, you know.
Chris was a little intimidated, but he just got out there and he played what he thought sounded good.
How did you meet up with Soundmind?
It was out in the Music Connection, actually. I just read it, you know, and it was, I think they had King Crimson or something, or Gabriel, I think it was. Peter Gabriel, that is.
What you want? Lay it down, yeah. My body hurts and all my defenses are good.
You did some recording?
Our first gig we recorded was immediately picked up by the manager of Stevie Nicks.
Oh, Stevie Nicks?
Yeah, Stevie Nicks of Fleetwood Mac fame. And we had the...
Sure that you're faking it, she said. No, don't let it go straight to your head. She said.
Actually, Stevie Nicks' personal manager got a tape from the board, and within a week, we were up at her house recording.
After the initial recordings worked out, they didn't work out. We laid it down and it didn't happen, and we felt very pressured to write the next great hit.
Let's start things out with Sound Mind. This is the second time they've been on the program. Let me double check that. Third time they've been on the program. And boy, this is one of the neat things about the show, is seeing a band get better and better and better. Been together about 4 years now out of Hollywood. It's a 5-piece operation. Sound Mind is their name. A local experiment by KLOS.
Gotta get me to the live wire. Gotta get me to the live wire. Gotta get me to the live wire. Yeah. Yes, son, yes, I do believe. Gotta get me to the live
How
wire.
many gigs do you think you guys played?
Upwards of 100, but I'm not sure.
50, 60.
Over 100.
We played all over the place.
Coconut Teaser,
Central,
Molly Malone's, we
Club Lingerie,
Candy Lago.
played little Irish bars, we played
Troubadour.
China Club, we played at Trinka's, we played at parties.
Thai Ice, you played there.
We've just played anywhere you can play.
Musically, what would you say were the band's influences?
The band's influences? Well, I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna say Steely Dan.
Steely Dan.
Steely Dan,
Steely Dan.
Steely Dan. Even though we sounded nothing like them.
but always from the start, guys like Paul Simon.
Miles Davis.
Peter Gabriel.
James Brown and Tower Power.
Stevie Wonder.
Fishbone, if they ever fucking come out with a new record.
And at one point we went to New York and stayed there for 2 weeks doing a demo, which was a great time.
That happened through our management. Barry Rosenthal had a friend who's a producer.
He liked us a lot and he was like, I'd like to, record with you.
And they flew us out there to record at Alessandra's studio, and also the studio where Rapper's Delight was recorded.
We had a great time, me and Rob and Chris would take off to the Village. I think Monte guarded the room the entire time. He was just like experiencing New York in the hotel. And Jesse would leave and no one know where he was going. He could have been robbing liquor stores for all we knew. He would take off at like 5 in the morning, say he was going to practice piano, but like who could believe that?
The demo didn't turn out as good as everyone hoped for. It was a bit overproduced.
Laid down some really good initial tracks.
And then we went to this mix studio in the city, and it became overdub hell.
By the end of it, there were horns that we never authorized on it, and all this layers of stuff that didn't sound anything like us.
I think we had a lot of fun, but we didn't accomplish what we went there to accomplish, which happens a lot, I suppose.